Dr. Dorlin M. Montero to formally introduce the participants and the panelists. Dorlin M. Montero to formally introduce the participants and the panelists. Alright, so good morning everyone. Good morning to our dear panel members, our organizers, our dear school principal to Ma'am President R. Abina, and of course to our dear presenters, our dear researchers. A round of applause for everyone. Alright, so later I'll be giving you the information about our panel members. But for now, let me give you the entry numbers, the names of the entry numbers, or of the groups of students who will be presenting. So, I already told you earlier the sequence of our presentation. As for entry number 1, we have the impact of over-reliance on ChatGPT on learning, critical thinking, and decision-making in qualitative study among grade 11 students. For entry number 2, we have awareness on the child left behind policy and academic engagement of senior high school students. For entry number 3, we have the Taga-Kaulo unveiled an ethnographic look at tribes' cultural practices and beliefs. For entry number 5, we have cultural influence of artificial lights from 1800 to present historical analysis. Entry number 6, the impact of work-life balance perceptions on career decision-making among senior high school students. Entry number 7, we have a critical discourse analysis of advertisement texts in social media platforms. Entry number 9, alerted and protected the untold benefits of emergency alarms for homeowners and building owners. We also have entry number 11, challenges and coping strategies of grade 11 EIM students in laboratory workshops and methodological study. Entry number 12 is academic validation and learning drive among senior high school students. Last but not the least, we have entry number 13, tracing the evolution of computers, historical analysis of their impact on modern society. So overall, we have 13 presenters. We have 13 groups who are going to present for the first research colloquium. So good luck on that. God, your presence alone is already, it already entails that you are good researchers, effective researchers, and that your efforts, your sleepless nights have been paid off. So congratulations, palakpakan po natin ang lahat. That would be all for our presenters. Thank you.
And now may I call the presence of Christine R. Avina for her opening remarks.
Mayong buntag sa tanan. Mayong buntag. Uy, nakulbaan ba? Ay, okay. Once again, mayong buntag. Okay, ayaw na magkulba-kulba. To our visitors from Comunal National High School, to our dynamic, how could I describe this three entities, our CI, our expert in research, our doctors, Dr. Law, Dr. Rai, Dr. Mabulis ni Sir Jun, di ba sir?
Doctor.
Okay. Our visitors, our students, welcome to the first senior high school research colloquium here in Pablo Lorenzo National High School. Our dear students, mapasalamat kayo ka because we have these 3, 4, or pinali sila dedicated research teachers. Okay. We're very lucky. We're very lucky tungod kay dili lang sila expert mo himo, expert sila mo tulo. Kay makahimo man ta kung tuloan ka. Pero to teach research is a very challenging one. And we have this morning from Comunal National High School to benchmark. O, di ba mo ma-proud na? Honestly speaking, dili na ko happy. Dili na ko excited to witness, pero dili ko ka-witness, di mo adlaw, siguro ang first presenter lang kay na ako equally important na ako atun sa cluster's office. And again, excited, proud kayo po to have this colloquium. First ever in our cluster, in our school, and excited, motivated to support our young researchers. Kabalo mo, swerte kaayo mo, especially for those students who are planning to enroll college. Kaya dili pa lang nasala na mo, na-train na mo. Pag-abot ninyo sa college, wala na. Swerte na yun sa iyo na sa inyo ha. So, this is it. After sa pila ka panahon na mo-absent mo sa klase because you're doing your research, dagang challenges, tama ba, dear students? Oh, but this is it. So, diri na karon ma-showcase unsa ang inyong mga pagpaningkamot. And with this, after ani, maka-gain mo self-confidence. Mutaas inyong moral na, ay, mauni ako gihimo. Kaya na juday kaayo. So, continue doing good, dili lang para sa sarili, o ayaw mo ninyo himuang makapahambugera sa inyo ha. Celebrate your success with your group, with your parents, with your teachers. Kay dili need gamay na accomplishment. Kani nga skills developed by our teachers sa inyo ha, dala-dala ninyo ni. Wala na makakuha sa inyo. Ayaw undanga. Kanilang ang sugod. Ayaw ninyo undanga. Bisag asa mo paingon. Timandi lang unsa ang training ninyo when you work here in Pablo Lorenzo with our teachers. So, again, I would like to congratulate to our teachers, Ma'am Glo, Sir June, Sir Daray. Daghang kay salamat sa pag-agwanta ninyo church check sa ilang mga manuscript. No? Gilalim. Okay, Sir June. Ayaw gid mo kapuol. Padayon mo sa inyong maayong buhat, ani. Kay God will be rewarded sa atong mga maayong buhat. Kay kanitanan, dili lang para sa among teachers, but we did this for our students na makapadayon na mo inspire sa among day-to-day na pagpanarbaho diri sa DepEd. So, again, I would like to congratulate your ever proudest principal here in Pablo. Proud kaayo jud ko sa inyo sa inyong output. Kamutanaw na lang yun ko sa video the whole thing. So, again, welcome to our first senior high school research colloquium. Research, innovate, and inspire. We are inspired by your output, dear students. God bless. Good morning once again. Palakpakan po natin ang bawat isa sa inyo.
So thank you, Mom, for that very welcoming message. So may I request Sir Melania Florino.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for accepting the challenge, as well as teachers from other schools who are here. They want to experience how are we going to conduct our events. And for all you know, sir, we are going to showcase the researches. One is the title proposal defense, which will be given by the section Diamond. Then we also have the complete chapters of Practical Research 1 given by Ma'am Montejo. And the 3 I's also complete, sir, no? From chapters 1 to chapter 5. Okay? So this morning, our objective is to draw well-supported conclusions from patterns and themes, formulate relevant and practical recommendations, properly cite and list your references, and present a complete and coherent research report. Okay? I know some of you are wondering what is this colloquium. So, sa man yung colloquium gabi, sa man siya, sa Bisaya. Handa, naginiay. Panagtapong sa mga eksperto sa lain-lain na subjects. Your research are subjects, okay? But these subjects go out from the usual box that we have inside the classroom. Kaning mga saman siya, kaning sa culture, sa mapping. Wala mo kabalo, each research has an equivalent subject. Okay, so nakibalaan na. So we will be going to consider you as experts sa atoang research. Okay? Sa junior ba, nabatay research na hitabo? Oh yes. Oh. Sa mga teacher ba, nag-imo ba sila research sa junior? Yes. Unsa man yung experience sa una katong sa English? Di ba ipabasa mo? Hinundog mo sa IRR. Sa tong sa reading. Nanong kailangan man namo mahibalan if you are good in reading, comprehension, di ba? Because we want to find out if you are good in what? In understanding what you are reading. How about sa inyong science? Sa junior, naabay research na itabo? Naagihapon. Oo. Katong na experiment mo, you also research the answers if it is relevant to the hypothesis that you will be giving. Okay. Sa inyong 4th year, nag-research man daw mo, ikaw ni Sir Ias. Oo. Pero doon atong research ha, formal and non-formal or informal. Okay, so karon nako sa grade 11, so may tawag yun ng research. So research is very important. Before the creation of technology, have you na research mahitabo? If it is good, significant, and relevant to the needs of society. So that is the rationale of our research. For this time, I will be returning the microphone to our host and be ready.
So without any further ado, let us witness the first senior high school research colloquium. Now please welcome the first presenter from grade 11 Diamond, the impact of over-reliance on ChatGPT on learning, critical thinking, and decision making. A round of applause, please.
Before we proceed to the presentation, let me give you first the criteria, no? And of course, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our dear panel members. They are actually from Comunal National High School. We have here Sir Semblante. A round of applause for Sir. And we also have here Ma'am Galamiton. A round of applause for Ma'am. And of course, we have here the support of our grade 12 curriculum head, Ma'am Robina Casiano. We also have here our dear school principal to Sir Arvin P. Bentic, as well as Nan Kathleen R. Aquina. And of course, we have here our research experts. We have Dr. Tito Tigray. We also have Sir Melanio R. Colorino. And yours truly. Alright, of course, we also have here the support of our beautiful advisor in Diamond, Ma'am Alali Baya. Ma'am Al, please come here. And of course, in the presence of our dear presenters, no? So, to give you the guidelines and the mechanics, yun. So, you will be rated according to our mechanics or our rubrics. There are 5. Number one criterion is content and relevance. So in order for you to get an excellent mark, it should be a well-defined, clear, and highly relevant content. Okay? Second criterion is presentation skills. So you should be exceptionally clear and engaging in the presentation of your research output. Then third criterion is visual and technical presentation. This refers to your PowerPoint presentation. Okay? And of course, the critical thinking and analysis. So you will be rated accordingly based on your in-depth and insightful analysis. And then, of course, last but not the least, is the impact and contribution of your research output. And after all the sharing of your ideas, of your findings, of the results of your studies, we will be choosing one best female presenter and one best male presenter from each category. We have two. We have from qualitative category. We also have from quantitative category. Alright, we will also be choosing one best group research paper. Okay, so we will choose one from each of the category, from qualitative category and from quantitative category. So give your best shot, researchers, because this one is an opportunity for you to shine as researchers. Not just, of course, in Pablo, but you'll get to experience it firsthand you get to college. So makaingon yun kung salamat kaayo sa senior high school because we have this kind of exposure. No? And this is our first senior high school research colloquium. Research, innovate, inspire. Alright, so congratulations everyone, your progress alone makes success one. Again, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our dear senior high school teachers to support our researchers. We have Ma'am Geraldine Gatchalian. Hi po, Ma'am. You may occupy the seats in front po, Ma'am Al and Ma'am Mira. Alright, so without much ado, may I request the entry number 1.
Good morning, everyone, especially to our panelists, teachers, and fellow researchers. We are honored to present our research titled, The Impact of Over-Reliance of ChatGPT on Learning, Critical Thinking, and Decision-Making, a qualitative study among grade 11 students. Artificial intelligence, particularly ChatGPT, has become a widely used tool for students, making learning more accessible and personalized. However, excessive reliance on AI may weaken critical thinking and decision-making skills, which are crucial for students' cognitive development. And our study explores these effects and finds ways to use AI wisely while preserving these essential academic skills.
The research questions of this study are guided by the 3 central research questions. First question, this question looks at how depending too much on AI for answers can harm students' learning. For example, it might make it harder for them to remember information, stay engaged with their studies, or be aware of their own thinking processes. Question number 2, this question investigates how relying on AI can weaken students' ability to think critically. If students depend on AI to do the thinking for them, they might struggle to develop these important skills, which are crucial for solving problems and making informed decisions. Question number 3, this question examines if overusing AI harms student decision-making skills. Since good decision requires analyzing options and consequences, relying on AI for quick answers might weaken these critical thinking abilities. So the significance of our research is substantial for implication for multiple stakeholders in education. For students, it raises awareness about the risk of becoming overly dependent on AI. So instead of removing their learning efforts, students will learn to use AI as a supportive tools to enhance their studies. For educators, the findings can help teachers to create strategies that integrate AI responsibly, ensuring that students will develop critical thinking and make ethical decisions rather than relying on AI for answers. For policymakers, they can use the results to develop guidelines on AI use in school. It needs to ensure that it aligns with academic goals such as cognitive development and academic integrity. For researchers, it lays as groundwork for future studies on AI's impact on learning and cognition. This research serves as a reference for long-term or comparative studies across different students' demographics.
In our documentations, our focus is on 15 grade 11 students from Pablo Lorenzo National High School examining their experience with ChatGPT in learning, critical thinking, and decision making. While this allows for an in-depth analysis, it limits generalizability. Our study does not cover in long-term effects or skills like creativity, but however, our qualitative approach ensures deep insights into AI dependency. In our documentation, we explore the process, critical thinking, decision-making, and the methodology. Despite limitations, our study provides valuable insights into AI role in education.
For theoretical framework, our study is guided by two key theories. Number one is constructivist learning theory by Vygotsky, 1978. This theory highlights that students learn best by discussing, solving problems, and thinking critically. However, relying too much on ChatGPT may lead to dependence on ready-made answers and limiting their ability to think critically and solve problems. And for number two is Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM, by Davis, 1989. This model explains that technology adoption depends on its usefulness and ease of use. And many students find ChatGPT helpful for quick and accurate answers. However, this may lead to dependency and weaker analytical skills.
So next, for methodology, we will be discussing a systematic approach that we use while conducting this study. We use phenomenological design, which aims to study a participant's experience while experiencing a phenomenon. The data will be collected through semi-structured interviews, focus group discussions, and thematical analysis. In semi-structured interviews, researchers will provide open-ended questions, allowing participants to answer in detailed narratives on how to use ChatGPT and how it affects them in their daily lives. In focus group discussions, this is where we explore and welcome new horizons to welcoming new challenges that using AI will cause us and attitudes such as AI dependency. In thematical analysis, we are guided by Dawn and Clark's 6 phase approach from 2006, which involves first is we examine the data, next is encoding the data by feeding information into specific formats, next is interpreting the data, and next is we name and define the data. Second to the last is we review and clarify the meanings, and lastly is to reward it.
Okay. In our school alone, students are too much reliant to ChatGPT as well as other AIs. But I want the policymakers to do the action. What do you think our policymakers can get from your research?
The findings can help policymakers to create a clear guidelines on how AI should be used in school. Since AI can both help and harm student learning, policymakers also need to ensure that it supports educational goals like critical thinking and academic honesty.
Okay, thank you very much. How about the significance of your research so that we can also trace how good is it when you conduct your study? What is the significance of your study?
So our research is significant in today's world since it promotes a Supporting our research is significant in today's world since it promotes supporting AI use, ensuring that students will develop critical thinking instead of relying on AI for answers. It also helps for policymakers, educators, and researchers to create a strategies that balances AI's benefit effects with ethical learning components.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. You may now conduct and finish your chapters 1, 2, 3, as well as up to 5.
Thank you so much, grade 11 That was a very wonderful presentation. Now, please welcome the grade 12 chart.
Sisa ko. Bos. Bawa bos. Mabasa bos. Sa bos.
Okay, alright, now with that out of the way, supported by Republic Act 9155, or better known as the Education for All 2000, the No Child Left Behind policy has been the topic of numerous papers, mostly on how it is perceived by teachers and regarding the negative consequences it also brings into the education system. However, there has yet to be a study conducted on how the students, most specifically the beneficiaries of this very policy, view said consequences. A pleasant morning to you all, my fellow research, and especially to my dear panelists. It's okay. Now, for further context, in a study done by John 2017, due to the policy, it has led to the decline in performances by minorities and low-performing students, the ones most likely to be left behind. And nationally, Orale and OI 2018 has confirmed that it has led to mass promotion, wherein a student, although lacking in certain yet critical academic areas, is still able to be promoted to the next year level. And finally, according to Rabusa et al., due to the policy, again, Filipino students are shown to be lagging behind compared to everyone else. Taking in these factors, which we can consider as examples of the major consequences the policy brings, could it or would it affect the academic engagement of our students? Thus, our study. It aims to determine whether or not becoming knowledgeable or aware of the policy's consequences could affect the academic engagement of students. We approach this research with 4 questions in mind. What is the level of awareness of of the No Child Left Behind policy of the senior high school students? Number 2, what is the level of awareness of academic engagement? Number 3, is there a significant relationship between the two? And number 4, is there a significant impact of the No Child Left Behind policy towards the academic engagement of the senior high school students? Here is our conceptual framework, wherein becoming aware of the policy could or would not affect the academic engagement of our senior high school students. The neurosocial learning theory suggests that Filipino students can learn and adapt through academic behavior, modeling, cognitive processes influenced by No Child Left Behind Act policy. This study used quantitative descriptive correlational design collecting data from 180 grade 11 and grade 12 students through validated researcher-made questionnaire.
Results and discussion. This study examined the senior high school students' awareness of No Child Left Behind and its relationship with academic engagement. This study shows that students have moderate awareness of No Child Left Behind. In the second table, students exhibit high levels of academic engagement. In the table 3, there's a correlation between SLB policy and academic engagement. And in the table 4, there's an impact between SLB and academic engagement.
This research investigates the impact of No Child Left Behind policy on the academic engagement of senior high school students at Pablo Lorenzo National High School. Our study has concluded that oftentimes when students are indeed aware of the policy, it does put an effect or influence their academic engagement.
For our recommendation is students should be more aware and educated regarding the policy in terms of pros and cons. Teachers should communicate with students on how to practice the policy to its full effect without sacrificing their engagement. The NCLB policy should be evaluated in order to avoid the negative consequence of it from continuing. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so how is the relationship? Can you explain to us the relationship between your identity and how does the findings contribute to the existing knowledge in your field or craft?
Alright, to explain the relationship between our ID and E, let us put it into more of an example. If I, a student, who has been putting in a lot of effort into ensuring I am able to be promoted to the next year level, will come to terms with or will find out about the NCLB policy and how it can often bring major consequences affecting my fate and whether or not I will be promoted to the next year level, there could be a chance I would lose said academic engagement because in the end, as long as I will show up or simply do what is perhaps provide a little bit below the bare minimum, I am still able to be promoted to the next year level, which again will affect my academic engagement. And regarding how this could, what was the second question again?
How does your study findings contribute to the existing knowledge?
Our studies findings will contribute greatly actually to existing literature, as of now there has yet to be any prior literature regarding this very topic. So it could be considered quite a good step in exploring uncharted territories regarding this area. And how it can affect or feel it could be a huge step, once again, in exploring the uncharted territories which our research has provided and encouraged to explore.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That was very a wonderful presentation from the grade 12 charity. So, now please welcome grade 11 amethyst, the Tagaka-Ulo unveiled an ethnographic look at tribes, cultural practices, and beliefs.
Good morning, panelists, visitors, and to all who have come here to witness this remarkable event. We are the Tagaka-Ulo unveiled an ethnographic look at tribes' cultural practices and beliefs. Research problem. The purpose of this ethnographic study was to fully understand the cultural practices and beliefs of the Tagaka-Ulo unveiled. Research questions. What are the cultural practices of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe, and how do the cultural beliefs of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe shape their unique cultural identity? Research design. An ethnographic qualitative research design used in this study. Research participants. 13 Tagaka-Ulo people participated in this study.
Data sources, interview, focus group discussion, and observation and evidence with validated questions. For the data collection, purposely selected something technique.
In legal analysis, we use Clark and Brown's math analysis in 2006 to analyze the given data. As for the role of the researchers, the researchers took the primary role of data gatherers.
The scrutinies of the study ensures validity and reliability. Ethical consideration. This study also ensures privacy of the participants. Results. So the results of the research questions are the cultural practices of the Tagaka-Ulo tribes are offenders punishment, revenge dance, and early marriage. So the answer to the research question number 2 are the cultural beliefs of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe that shape their unique cultural identity by recognition of relationships and strengthening social bonds, and also reverence for nature and spiritual connection. The answer of research question number 1, what are the cultural practices of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe? So first, independence punishment. As stated by one of the participants, the Tagaka-Ulo people punishes thieves by cutting off the pinky finger as a sign of a warning. So according to the study of the MITA 2019, it stated that indigenous justice systems are essential in preserving cultural values within tribal society.
Revenge dance. In addition, as stated by our participants, the Eagle dance represents the justice, and according to Abina 2016, that the Eagle dance represents justice and unity.
Early marriage. Early marriage refers to refers to practice of marrying at early age. So, as stated by one of the participants, my mother was forced to marry my father at a young age. So, in that statement, supported by the study of Ganira et al. 2015, states that early and forced child marriage negatively influence girls' education.
And the answer for the question number 2, how do the cultural beliefs of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe shape unique cultural identities by recognition of relationships and strengthening social bonds. Discusses the relationship beliefs of the Tagaka-Ulo tribe. As stated by the study of Leo et al. 2024, that key elements of our relationship is trust, love expression, and commitment, as stated by participant M. that some of their tribe members who found their love would proudly present it to the others and say that they have a kaginaway, and reverence for nature and spiritual connection. Discusses the spiritual beliefs of the Tagakaw tribe, as stated by the study of Frontline 2022. The cultural practices of the Tagakaw tribe highlighted their belief in supernatural phenomena and in presence of the spirits. As stated by participants C, that some of their tribes truly believe that there are spirits living in those big trees, that there are deities living in there. Now let's move on to the implications, the research, and recommendations. As for the Tagakaw communities, it promotes awareness of their cultural practices and beliefs and contribute to the preservation and protection of their cultural identity. As for the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or NCIP, may find this research valuable in supporting their efforts to safeguard indigenous cultural heritage.
Future researcher, educating the staff.
Okay, your time is up. Question for the group. Can you tell us about your unforgettable experience during your immersion, your observation, and the immersion?
So thank you for the question, ma'am. The unforgettable experience during our immersion was staying at the host family where they showed their hospitality, shared their foods and daily routines that help us understand more their unique cultural way of life. Also, trying to learn their language and the funny and insightful moments that resulted during the immersion. And lastly, talking to the elders who shared their wisdoms and on how they navigate through challenges, struggles,